day. Hot girls healing. We doing it our way. Hot girls healing. And it goes on and on. And when it all goes wrong, we'll celebrate so nothing's gonna hold us down. And it goes on and on. The healing takes it all. But we are proud and strong. Nothing's gonna hold us down. Hot girls healing. Hot girls healing. Hot girls healing. Hot girls healing.
Hello, hello, hello. This is the Hot Girls Healing Podcast. I'm your host, Salenna Green. Today I am joined by the wonderful CF Jackson, and we are talking about claiming your power, okay? I'm going to say that again. Claiming or reclaiming, okay, your power is what we're talking about today. And I'm so excited for this discussion. I know CF through the podcasting community, y'all. There's a community of Black folks out here with stuff to say, but it's not just what we see on Twitter, okay? It's not just is it, feminine if a man does this or that, okay? There's real work being done. There's healing conversation taking place in the Black community. So if you're one of the Black people out here who thinks all Black podcasts are this, that, and the other, and nay, you need to keep looking because we are out here. And CF, why don't you go ahead and tell everyone about yourself, and then we'll get into the conversation.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to this conversation as well. Like I say, I'm CF Jackson. I'm based here in Atlanta. And what I do, I'm an entrepreneur here in Atlanta. I help entrepreneurs, experts, and allies and authors utilize their expertise and take them, not only just having them online, but take them to a place that they always dreamed to be. If they're dreamers and doers and had a dream to be on television, I help them do that by getting on Roku. If you don't know, you can be on Roku TV. It is the #1 streaming TV platform in the country. And my mission is to really help 5,000 entrepreneurs redefine TV, because now's our time. We have a message, we have a story, we have expertise, and you can take it to another level and really take it to a place where it's just not local but globally and having ownership. So that's what I do, and it's been fun. I've had the pleasure of interviewing great people around the globe, so I'm looking forward to doing more of that. But that's what I do. But we hear about something about taking your power, claiming your power, and all that good stuff. So I'm excited about it.
Yes, to the tune of us creating our own narratives and controlling our own narratives now, right? That's part of what we're talking about today, y'all, okay? Claiming your power. Let's talk about our inherent power, right? Just as human beings.
Yeah.
Tell the people.
Well, what's the interesting part, we are given power, but unfortunately it is taken away so swiftly because we become indoctrinated by what is status quo or what our traditions of how we're raised. And unfortunately, it is something that our ancestors, mothers, fathers, aunts, uncles, and grandmothers and the likes aren't recognizing. But unfortunately, then there are some who know that they have a power and don't give it away. I mean, this quote I read a long time ago: you don't give somebody the power to tell you no who don't have the power to say yes. And oftentimes people, they don't have the power to say yes to you, but they're telling you no. And then we have a habit, to be really honest, to telling ourselves no. So we take our own power away. For example, oh girl, I can't do that. You already cutting yourself short at the root of everything because you're so indoctrinating from the society's terms of things that you are shooting yourself in the foot. But there's so much is encompassed of knowing your innate power that oftenly we shoot ourselves in the foot. We allow what's going on in the outside world to determine our power, rather than sitting down, meditating, and really understanding what is power and how can I tap into what's foreseen to be my power, and being okay with those around us not understanding you, because people ain't gonna understand you if you walking in your own power.
And that's that part, because I'm thinking about, our inherent power. It's usually that thing like when you're growing up that makes you special, makes you stand out a little bit. And sometimes that can make you subject of criticism. People thinking like, who do you think you are? How dare you, pursue or embrace or celebrate this, that, or the other. So it can, be scary to fully embrace and claim your power. And, when we are children, we're so close to, who we just are genuinely. That we're so in that inherent power of ours that it's like we almost don't even know how to claim it, and then by the time we're adults, it's been pushed down and stumped out in as many ways as the world can. So absolutely a process and connected to so many things.
But a sad thing about it is because a lot of parents don't know how to help you manifest that because of the fact that they're on the other side of it. Like my grandmother, I was talking to somebody the other day, and unfortunately she passed away in January at 91. She was not fully indoctrinated in the whole scheme of things. She wanted things that's traditional in life. But in 7th grade, that was her last of school. But she knew what she wanted, and there she was not indoctrinated in the system anymore. She knew she had to do X, Y, and Z to maintain a lifestyle. She had visions and goals, but she was the same with any person she met. There was no stranger. So if I came to her house with flip flops on and it's 45 degrees outside, of course I'm gonna get a tongue lashing. And if she met somebody outside in the street with a child and it's 45 degrees outside and they didn't have any shoes or socks on, she's gonna give them a tongue lashing as well. So, but she didn't have
on my baby.
Yeah, that's right. And even if you didn't have on, she's gonna tell you something as well. But she didn't have a sense where she knew she did things her way. And because she was not caught in the system, I think further along you got in life in terms of the system, school, education, and all that. And I think to myself, and somebody brought it to my attention the other day, like, that's why she was, because be honest, my grandmother, she did housework. She was on a retainer. My grandmother, she lives in Florida. She told people who go to Canada, go north for the summer, if you want me to be here when you get back, you must pay me because I have bills to pay. So during the summer months, there are certain clients she had that home she didn't even clean, but they paid her. I said, Grandma, you were getting paid? It was not even, I had bills to pay. I said, Grandma, you was on retainer? So she already knew she didn't have a status quo. What people was telling her, she knew she was building for herself. And that's the power of knowing, having your own power of knowing what I need. I'm going to do what I need to do, but doing it in a legal way. And it was just, I was like, man, I'm not doing nothing. My grandma was on a retainer cleaning houses. I said, I didn't
know that's right.
Well, yeah, I love it.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And that's so true. That's absolutely true. And that's, a part of how and why claiming the power is so important for, parents, caregivers, our elders, youth, everybody. Because when you're claiming your power, you're less likely to be threatened by somebody else's, and you're more likely to be able to aid someone else on their path, to claim that power, to be an example of what it looks like to live your life on your terms and make sure you're good. Because these people, they were making sure they was good if I think someone else. I know your grandma was right.
She didn't play. She just didn't play, and that's the best part about when you know who you are. And the thing of living unapologetic in who you are. And it's the thing, people having to get to that point of it's okay. I mean, we grew up in a time in school. We always had somebody teasing us. So you would make think it's not going to be indifferent as an adult that someone's going to be out there having something to say. It's not always negative, but everyone has an opinion and vice versa. So being unapologetic and just knowing who you are and just stepping into it and everyone being accepting of it. As long as you're not bringing harm to anybody, why can't we just allow that person and accept them for who they are and have joy as we go about our day? But it's a challenge because we give it away all the time, our power. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's that other part about, it being not only modeled for us, but handed down to us through, our elders and our ancestors, those who came before us. There's so much that they can teach us. There's so much that, they did in resistance, like without even, it being necessarily a show of it. It was just life. Like life was resistance to the system that really wasn't doing anything for them.
Yeah.
There's a lot to be learned there for us. There's a lot of knowledge there and wisdom for us to follow. And I love that so much. Let's talk more about it because we already kind of got into it about what drains our power and what takes away from us. But
Yeah.
I want to talk more about, the power that is taken from us and the power that we kind of give away, through certain decisions that we make or paths
Yeah.
that we take.
I think something, I'm going to touch on one subject matter. I think a lot of people give away their power when it comes to their religion because they take away of not recognizing that a lot of it's already within. So if you're constantly seeking externally, therefore you're saying that you don't have it within. And if you're saying you made it in his likeness, that means you already have the authority and power that was in his likeness. So you don't have to keep on asking. You just got to tap into his likeness. I mean, I had to keep on asking my mom to walk. She had 2 legs. I got 2 legs, so therefore I was a late walker. Ain't gonna lie, but I finally decided to walk. I had to keep on asking. It came about. So I think a lot of times one of the things that people give away their sense of power is not recognizing that if you're a spiritual being, then you have to tap into your spiritual being and your power within and move into that and knowing. That's one of the things I think people just don't recognize that in their everyday walk. They say it sometimes, but I don't think they truly, really believe it and how to put it in practice on a daily walk.
Ooh, that's so real. That is so real. Because it's harder to do than to say, or it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
To protect your power and to really claim it.
Yeah.
And there's so much that, so many systems and situations that we have to engage with, just to keep, the lights on or what have you,
Yeah.
that are draining us, that it's we really got to protect ourselves in those situations where we can to make sure we're not giving away our power in those situations or in those spaces. That's
true.
real. And, that is one of those spaces. Religion is one of those areas where you're unconsciously or consciously being given the message that you need external validation. And I think that if I'm recalling my life and the different institutions that I came in contact with, they were all that told me about school, my grades, external validation. I need to be told that I'm smart. I need to be told that I'm doing the material the right way.
Yeah.
And then that can be translated into so many things.
Yeah.
I also did modeling when I was growing up. I was 14 years old when I first started modeling. A lot of external validation comes with modeling.
Yeah.
A lot. And so it was almost as I started to take breaks from modeling and then come back after, years, I started to realize wow, there's this difference with taking a break and then coming back and seeing something with fresh eyes.
Yeah.
You're able to see a lot more of those places where you are giving away your power instead of, maybe advocating for yourself or negotiating in a space instead of just accepting things, the way that they are. So much external validation, so many messages of being told from our youth to and well into our adulthood that we need to be validated externally.
In relationships, somebody was a good conversation. She mentioned that, if you need that person, we want people that significant other in our life. We desire them, and we want to be told we're loved and all that. But if that person, you require that person for you to feel good, you require that person to do X, Y, Z with you, then you're setting yourself up for a downfall. You with the significant other, and if that significant other you met, like for example, met her, and she knows she didn't do hiking. And then all of a sudden you've been in a relationship for 3 years, and now you're mad because she doesn't want to go hiking. When you first dated her, she said she went hiking. So therefore, you got to find those other people who love hiking. Leave her at the house because she doesn't like hiking. You don't want to hear her complaining. She don't want to be moaning. She ain't screaming at you. But most times, one person's not going to be all things to you. Whatever that one thing you love about that person, love that person, accept that part of that person, and then seek out those who you like shopping, go with that person. There goes Stacy. You like to go hiking, there go Jonathan. You like to go swimming, there go to me. Find the people and be okay with that, but don't try to make that one person the be all. And there you are. You're taking away from who they are and who they're really supposed to be to you. And the thing you really love about them, you don't love it anymore because you're trying to make them be everybody else.
Whole time you're jeopardizing the connection that you have with that person. Because you can start to lose your connection with someone because every time, you're engaging with them, it's in a way that's not necessarily authentic to them. You're putting a weight on them that they are not meant to carry.
Yeah. That's it.
And that's, lack of connection is a real issue in today's world. And so absolutely that. Claim your power. Get what you need from other people and don't force one person, and especially in our society, it's going to end up being your romantic partner because there's so much emphasis put on a romantic partner. And,
Yeah.
In our culture here in the United States is all about that romantic partner. It's too much for one person.
Yeah.
Get in that work. Lean on your friends.
Yeah.
Like you said, have that one friend to do that one thing with.
Yeah.
And let that be okay, Let that be enough.
But they don't teach that. Even, I mean, it's something foreign. Even to this day, it's not really something that's really truly discussed. That, okay, this is who I love you for, and this is this thing, but I like all these other things. And then I was on this other series where they talk about relationships, and what did he say? Something about if the guy has more problems. If you have more friends, like for example, I have a lot of male friends. And then the guy saying, well, he wouldn't want me to have, saying the thing, he wouldn't want me to have all these male friends. They will have to go. Well, we probably won't be in a relationship because why would I release somebody who I've been friends with for 20 years? I just met you, we've been dating for 5, or we've been married, whatever. And it's been platonic. Why would I leave that because you feel some kind of way? It's a friendship, So I'm going to give away my sense of power of friendships that have been there, who may have been there through down times, up times, whatever it may be. But you got to know those relationships. And if that's the case, you can't be all to me. And if you don't like boxing, but he likes boxing, I'm going to see a boxing match with him or her. Like you say, you got to find the different components, the different people, and plug in what you need to plug in. But don't try to make yourself all to somebody, and then you losing that person because you're not all to that person. Nah, you can't do that powerful.
That's the part. That's the part. And in this economy, you can't have one person do everything in this economy. That's too expensive.
I mean, you can be a Bill Gates if you want to. You can be
I guess you're not young guy that think you're on too, but just know that it ain't necessary.
You can be Oprah Winfrey.
Right. Now I know another way that I have definitely been known to, and this may be something that other people can relate to as well. I have relinquished my power before by staying in situations long past my expiration date.
Yeah.
And I really want people to think about this. Like, I think this may be a pattern for us. These situations that we can get caught in, huge way to give away power.
And it happens. And not knowing, and that's a challenge for women, knowing how to, even easier situations, like, okay, you're ready.
Yeah, women and fans, child. It's a trap.
It's just, if you're not able to just give a phone call really quickly, I'm sure it's going to be challenging for you to get a very sticky situation that you should be out of. We just feel some way that we have to be, kind of like, submissive to someone or situation or whatever it may be, but just dating. Like, if it's not serving you for the greater good, survey situation and be okay, because someone's going to be not happy. I remember I listened to someone, I listen to people all the time, but she said something that was real powerful. Do I want to be right or do I want to be happy? And in the day, leading towards all that your happiness is where you're able to receive all the goodness that's for you to attract what you want. Because, like you say, be somewhere you're not supposed to be. If you left 10 minutes ago, you would probably win the mega ball the other day or something. If you could have met the life of your dreams, something.
Yeah.
But stay there. But I think it's something we do. I don't know what it is, and it's not just women. All people do it, and but I think younger people do it. Or as younger I am, I'm older than you are. But these younger people,
no, I think you're right. I do think you're right because it's almost like this people pleasing thing. Like, it's something that I definitely have, spent some years working myself out of.
Yeah.
Like, I had to get comfortable with feeling like I was a bad person, even logically knowing that I'm not for saying no, but just I had to sit in the feeling a couple of times.
Yeah.
Feel that discomfort and saying no, and then get past it. See how, the world reversed into friends because I said no. See how that person still came back and asked me to do something for them again. Because I don't know, with people pleasing, you be kind of scared that people won't ask you to do stuff, So they still kept asking me to do stuff in the future. I still see it as valuable. So I really had to do that uncomfortable pattern until I got to until it's uncomfortable. And then, not for me. This is what I can do, this is what I can't do.
But but one thing I had to learn for myself is that when you saying yes to somebody else, what are you saying no to yourself to? Just to make them happy. And same to you, somebody came to me, I'm sitting there, it was the funniest thing. So I'm sitting there, I'm killing this banana nut muffin. I'm just killing it. I'm on the phone, like this is so good. It was so moist. I'm like, okay, oh, I need you. Can you do this for me? And I initially said, no, I can't do it. I'm sitting there just like, I'm just killing it. I'm on the phone, whatever. I'm like, I'm thinking about it. So after I finished my banana nut muffin, I'm like, that was some good banana nut muffin. I proceeded to send him a text because you didn't hear me the first time, but you continue to proceed because I'm going to lie. Men have a tendency to do it. They think they can talk over you and try to woo you. And I can say, well, I'm not the one able to do that for you. I hope the young lady who was initially said she's going to help you follow through and help you. And what I initially said, I said, after I finish eating my banana nut bread, that's what I said. I kind of realize I am not the one for you. But and people don't want to hear you because they're thinking that, I've done this and this and that. But I'm saying, what am I saying no to myself to if I say yes to you? If I know it's going to take me this amount of time to do something for you and I need other things to do for myself, I'm giving up my sense of my power to give you something that's make you happy. And what I'm going to get in return, I don't want to do it. And I'm going to be unhappy. I'm bitter. It's not going to bring me joy. I don't want that. It's Saturday. I want to, and I want to enjoy my day and do what I want to do. But thank you. I enjoyed this banana muffin, and I hadn't heard no more from him. And I felt good.
And I know that's right. And that's what you have to do because you know what? I found that the cost of not doing that is too high.
Yeah.
It's too high. It will take a physical toll on you, an emotional toll on you, a mental toll on you. Yeah. Have you out here in these streets acting out of pocket in a way that you ain't even trying to represent yourself that way? Like you have to protect yourself
at all costs.
You have to.
And it includes family.
Yeah, make sure you. Sorry, go ahead.
It includes family too.
Oh, say that again for the people.
Family. Because your family doesn't mean that you have to. It's okay to tell them no as well, or just go MIA. You gotta have that time to go MIA on people. Not in a mean way, just so you recognize this, so you can come back, not so you won't be angry or say something that's not correct. Just creating a new pattern of conversation of how they are to be, you treat them and vice versa, and what they can ask you for. You gotta restructure the dynamics between relationships, and that includes family.
Oh, absolutely. I second all of that. Learning how to have your boundaries is one thing, learning how to hold them is another. And I know a few families, they usually go be a library for people who are boundary pushers. Yeah. They're like, yes, of course, have boundaries. Love that for you, but not for me, right? But I don't have, right? That makes sense, huh? Like, I know. So absolutely hold your boundaries and then give yourself distance and time from people who are challenging them. I actually found that once I started spending more time with people who I wasn't stressed out around, my life is less stressful now. I'm getting to go to the same events, have the same interactions, but it's better. More calm, no escalations, no defensiveness. These things that happen when you're in spaces where you're having to give up your power. That's what ends up happening. You become defensive.
And it's funny you say that. Many, many years ago, and I haven't implemented in a while though. It's been a while. I had implemented a 7-day sabbatical. And I told people that family and friends, far and wide, do not call me, I call you. So for a whole week, don't call me for nothing unless it's an emergency. And the first time I implemented it, I recognized that being that no one could plug into me, it seemed like the energy just pretty much everything subsided. And it was I had new fresh air, that things that was probably blocking to me because people would siphon off of me. And maybe I did it because I got tired of people always coming to me and I would tell them something and they wanted to come back to me because they wanted me to hold the information. So I would say, you have to write it down. So I have implemented, if you don't write it down, I'm going to charge you. I even did it to my mom. She got really angry at me too. So you better tell me what it is. I said, you didn't write it down. Did I tell you to write it down? So I just started creating that. And so like once or twice a year, I would have a 7 day sabbatical. Don't call me. I'll call you. And I just felt everything, just like everything was served and no one, that energy just went away. And I had this new, fresh energy, new opportunities.
Mm.
It was this beautiful thing. And then soon people were ready, like, is it 7 days yet? They sitting there waiting to call. Ain't got nothing to say now. It's a thought that they could not call me for 7 days. That's the craziest thing. They ain't got jack to say.
Oh my God. Wow. Wow. I've never done that before. But I swear to people, like I have a sister who I swear she will not call me at any time, but she has like a spidey sense. Like she can tell if I went down for a nap. Anytime my phone rings, if I'm laying down for a nap, it is her. Every single time.
No matter what.
Every single time. And I'm like, I started to put my phone on Do Not Disturb, so now she'll like text me. She'll text me that, and I'll see it when I wake up from my nap. Because she's like, oh, the phone was on Do Not Disturb, wasn't it? And I was like, sure it was.
Because I ain't trying to get, but it's amazing though. It is a sense that, you know, I advise anybody to tune it in, try it. It has to be 7 days, but just time this way. You just need time. I know it's maybe challenging, that you just cut off the people for a day or two, and you'll be amazing how the energy will flow so differently and be empowering to you. You're recognizing that you need that free time from people, because you just don't know that it's the energy that people think they can cipher, and it's constant. Energy doesn't stop until you make it cut off, and like you can't have no boom, and then all of a sudden it just falls off. I advise anybody to try it. Don't do a whole week, but just do a couple of days. It's fine.
Taking that time is so essential. You know what it saves me from? Resentment. Because when it interrupted my sleep, and a pattern of it happens deep in my feelings. So, you know, I need to protect this relationship. So I'm my phone on Do Not Disturb when I take this nap.
Oh, your friends with you make it up. I still want to love you when I awaken.
So, you know, take the time for you, because I know that, you know, we all only have so much to give before we need a break, and we need something to pour into us. We need some love, we need some cuddles, whatever it is. And, you know, a lot of us being introverts, we just learning about how draining everything it can be for us. We're like, oh, that makes so much sense. Like, yes, everything is draining. I do be out of the party sitting in the corner talking to just one other person, you know, whatever it is. Whatever the sign of an introvert was that made you go, oh, you know, but you gotta take that time for yourself in every area. Every area. And it's so important. The benefits are huge. Let's talk more about them. Like, how do we claim our power? I know we already talked about boundaries. We talked about taking a little time for yourself. We talked about, you know, creating space as appropriate with family.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, I think those are the main things, but at the same time, doing things that empower, make you feel empowered, you know, and it may be brisk walking, working out, that favorite song, you know, that outfit, getting the nails done, you know, those things that inspire you, uplift you, doing a project, you know, taking time out and being okay. At the same time, you don't have to share what you're doing that brings you joy. Because, I mean, before you know it, you share with the wrong person, or sometimes the person you share with often may knock it down because they may not be in the same vibe at that time. Just doing that thing that makes you feel joyful, and just in basking in it for yourself and being okay with enjoying yourself. I think a lot of people, like you said at the beginning, looking for feedback from others. It's amazing how far in life people are constantly looking for validation from others. Validate yourself. Be okay with yourself and being okay with the outcome. That was my decision. No one else put it in there. It's me and my greater spirit within me. I'm listening to me. Starting from the beginning of the conversation, going within, and just being okay with yourself, feeling yourself, and meditating. Meditating is a beautiful thing. I think, I mean, my meditating has helped me a lot in terms of just knowing, being self-aware, not popping off. Lately in the road, though, I'm getting kind of annoyed, but that's okay. I know when I do, I said, oh, see, I'm gonna pop it off. I'm supposed to be here for a moment. I got the red light for some
Yes.
reason. But just meditating and being within and do it daily. That's one of the most
And that's the key too. Like with meditating, hearing that regular practice. Like for
yeah,
me, it was like, don't be intimidated. Like what you were saying, meditate at the light. You do not have to meditate for a super long time for it to be effective. I
yeah,
meditate a few minutes every single morning. I'll find myself taking a few deep breaths and just centering myself and, paying attention to my body just for a few moments. Like that's how the meditation has to be.
yeah. It's the breath. The breath brings you back to
Mm-hmm.
yourself. I remember I was a kid, and I may have been doing it, didn't even know I was doing it. My mom, my mom used to get my mom's nerves. I just sigh. And unbeknownst, I probably was doing some form of meditating. And I really was
Mm-hmm.
probably was forgetting myself because she probably was getting on my nerves, probably was yelling at me for something. But the sigh was able to me just to tune her out for a moment and just come back. And you just don't recognize that you're doing that, but I was doing that as a kid, middle school. Wasn't doing it in high school by that time. She probably don't pop me by the time I wasn't in high school, but I was doing it a lot. And she's like, "You don't stop it," but I was getting myself recentered and did not know it. I just knew I did it, and I didn't mean to be signed, but I was like, oh
Yeah,
God,
that deep breath is so
needed it.
important. The
She's no,
breath is important, getting just paying attention to your body, grounding yourself in
yeah,
space. Another thing that came to mind for me when you were talking about joy and like just exploring your joy. I always encourage people to like do something that was fun for you as a kid because
mm,
it's probably still going to be fun for you now.
yeah,
And then the other part is like capitalism is such a thief of our inherent power. Do
mm,
not feel like you have to monetize your joy. Okay, like
mm-hmm.
definitely monetize some of your joy if that's something that is we'd rather have work for joy than for anything else. But don't feel like you have to monetize every single little thing that brings you joy. Keep
Yeah.
some of that just for you. Don't let capitalism get it.
That's when you say that because when I first got into this whole entrepreneur world back in 2003, I had wrote a novel, Won't Be Denied. And I had did it myself and everything. And I was working at the time at with Bell South AT&T. And I met somebody and he said, "Oh, will you publish my book as well? Help me publish my book." I said, "Sure." And so I was going through the process and the motion. It was clear as bells. Like, this is not for others. This gift, and I learned at that very moment, everything you do for yourself isn't meant to be a business. And I did it. I finished it. I was happy that he has the book completed. But that very moment, I said, it brought me joy, but it didn't bring me joy doing it for him. So therefore, I said, let me go ahead and get paid. And I was done with that. And so people say, "Oh, you have a publishing company?" Yes, for my book. It was not for everybody because I was going through the process and I wanted my book to be out there. But I wasn't going to be a publisher for other people once I learned that that was not for everything. So that is so powerful because you got to be, and you at the end of the day, you're trying to monetize it and that thing that brought you joy. And now you're hating it because it wasn't meant for that. It wasn't
Mhm.
meant. That's a powerful statement there. I like that. So true.
Yeah, like so important because I have a lot of things that bring me joy, and especially around 2020 when everything was looking around icy. I know a lot of people were going into like, how can I turn this into a side hustle? How can I
Yeah.
turn that into a side hustle? And I'm always going to be an entrepreneur, so I'm always going to be, doing projects, and that's something that brings me joy. So I do monetize my joy to a certain extent, but there's also so many other things that I do. Like I love painting. I have
Yeah.
regular painting sips with my friends, with my sisters. Like you're not going to see me probably. Like I'm not good at painting, so you're not going to see me do that professionally, but it's always going to be something that I love doing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I might sell a something or something. Well, there's things lined up for you. So that's
That's
definitely going to be my contribution to how you can reclaim your power or claim your power. Find your joy and keep it just for you.
Can I add to how it's really to know your story. I think a lot of people fail to
Mm-hmm.
know their story and know your story to a point where own it. You don't have to sit in it, the
Yes.
down parts, the good time, whatever it may be, but know your story to where things were from birth to where you are so that you can be of value when you may need to be of service of somebody to uplift them, to encourage them, to lead them down the path to helping them. But lots of people, I think most people don't, they know this story, but they try to negate it or just
Mhm.
they kind of block it out. Because some things, some parts of their life wasn't the best. And we understand that. I understand that. But really taking the time to really know your story, to when it's time to support somebody, when it's time for somebody, it could be a teenager who may need you at that time. At least you can tell that time you own that part of your life. Oh, when I was a teenager, XYZ happened to me. You're able to help them. But I think one of the most empowering things is to really know your story and own your story so that you can be able to give
Mhm.
to somebody when it's time to share that particular moment in the story, one of
Mhm.
those chapters, or even subtitles in your story.
Oh, absolutely. Knowing your story, healing and reparenting your inner child as needed, all
Yeah.
of that helps you to, pass along this compassion and just
Yeah.
understanding to other people that we need in this world right now. Like,
Yeah.
we need people in tune with themselves, understanding and compassionate of the person that they used to be. For me, that's huge. It's opened up to me being so much more compassionate than I used to be. I'm
Yeah.
thinking about, forgiving myself, forgiving others for things that I've never gotten an apology from. Those are things I was like, oh, I would never be able to forget someone who didn't apologize to me.
Yeah.
Now I understand how that can be done.
Yeah. That's empowering. Because really, at the end of the day, is that if you require them to apologize to you to be centered, to be whole, you're gonna have a lot of holes in your life at some point because a lot of people ain't gonna apologize. Just that's not. You got to move forward and find your center of a place of one. You the one, and continue to plant seeds of joy within yourself. So that's a great step. A lot of people are challenged with that. Thousands and thousands of people wait for somebody to apologize. Keep
Yeah.
on waiting.
And it's just like you said, I actually have to realize if I'm waiting for an apology for so and so before I can, then I'm making it their power whether I get to heal or not. And I won't be in charge of whether I get to heal or not. So
That's
I
good.
gotta take that power back from that person and that person and that person
Yeah.
and give myself what I need to be able to move along.
Yeah.
And that's a part of it too.
Yeah. There's some good stuff. It's you gotta want to have the power, and when you feel that joy and feel happiness in your day because you did something, that's something you want to just continue to reciprocate, continue to watch, rinse, and repeat. Not because somebody did something for you, and it's good stuff, but you can do it within yourself because you don't did something for yourself. It's the most invigorating thing for me. It is, like maybe tomorrow I may get out and walk, because it's gonna be a beautiful day. If it's not
Yes.
things like that. I mean, when COVID hit, because I'm here in Atlanta, it was so
Mm-hmm.
nice when people were in the house. The sky was better, and I would walk. It's like it was out here. Pretty much with this one car drive by, zoom, and I'm getting my walk on. And I walk back in. But it's those
Yeah.
moments where you have those times and you just listen to something inspiring. And just get it in. Find something empowering to listen to. Some music,
Mm.
inspirational. Les Brown, whomever you listen to. I don't know, Eric Thomas. I don't know. Listen to somebody.
I don't know any of those names, but I'm more of a smooth jazz girl myself, or
Okay.
little R&B, like situation. We
I'm
have
good.
Solange, Ari Lennox,
Yeah.
Beyonce fans there. But anyways, yes, I get that. Find a good space for yourself. Find little moments of luxury.
Yeah.
Set a small goal for yourself. Set a small goal of I'm gonna walk today. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go for a little walk today. I'm gonna say a kind thing to myself every time I catch my reflection in the mirror. There's so many small steps that we can take with ourselves, for ourselves, to build up self love, to call our power to us, to reinforce the power that we already have in us. That's
Yeah.
really all it is. The power's already there.
Give it life. Give it life.
Yeah.
Continue to smolder like that smoldering smoke going over there in Canada. Just let it get up in you. It's leading over to Canada. It's over in New York. It's all in DC. But it's already there. You just got to continue to breathe and resuscitate it because a lot of it has been dormant in so many people. Resuscitate your power and continue to see it and feel it and say, I can do this for myself. And then bring forth those things that continue in people that and continue to breathe life into it. So this is good. I like it. You know me, I can talk about this stuff all the time, all day, every day.
Yeah. And that's just that on that. I think you really just said all that needs to be said. You gotta feed that fire in you. It's there. Keep keep giving it air, keep motivating it, keep pouring into it, and that fire is you, boo.
You
So,
said
CF, is there any last thoughts that you have for the people around claiming or reclaiming your power? Any last thoughts?
pretty much the thing we said is, I think if anyone just heard one thing, you don't have to implement everything, but just take one step to where you, first and foremost, that I'm going to maintain my power and I want to tap into my power. And let's listen to this over and over again to say, I'm going to implement one of the things that resonated with me and move forward in that one thing, because it's all about that first step and then the next step and the next step. And then you add something else to the fire. So continue to ignite it, then come back and add some more fire to the coal and more coal to the fire. And before you know, you're gonna be inflamed. It's not about you taking care of others, but you taking care of yourself. And that's how you claim your power, by taking care of yourself. And they're gonna be angry, so what? At the end of the day, it's all about you. At the end of the day.
Yes, you gotta make sure you can survive. And if it helps you, if you pour into you, you got more to pour into the next person. So ultimately, even if you want to serve other people, you have to serve yourself to make that happen. So
Exactly.
CF, thank you so much for being here. How can people find you? How can they get in contact with you to talk about Roku TV? Like,
It's easy. You find me anywhere, everywhere. You put in I Define TV, you'll find us across all the different platforms. And if you want to check out more information, you can go to www.smile.idefinetv.com. Again, that's www.smile.idefinetv.com. You can learn all about how to be on Roku TV and how to take what you do to another level. But I appreciate it. It's been a great conversation, needed conversation. I advise anybody to listen to this over and over and over and over again, because it's going to be something that you walk
yes.
away from.
I personally got so much from this. Thank you so much for being here. This is the Hot Girls Healing Podcast. I'm your host, Salenna Green, and I'll see you next time.